DexTrader.com, and this is the Forex forecast for the week of 5/22/17. And holy crap, it's May, Mike Ficca.
Mm.
Introducing Mike Ficca is always fun because you never know what he's going to say.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Well, Mr. Mike Ficca, you have I guess, a front row seat of everything that's being built and being done. And of course, earnings and risk disclaimer. But let's talk about just a few minutes of some of the things that we know that's going on, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And today's webinar is sort of not like a full whiteboard webinar. We will have some presentation, but there's going to be a little bit of an aha moment for some of you. And some of you might be like, this is normal, max webinar kind of stuff. But you might get a little bit of an aha today. If you're watching this after the fact, you're definitely going to get something, because you're gonna witness a lot of things unfolding here on this webinar. And I'm a little nervous of this. I normally don't get nervous on webinars, Mike, but in this one I'm a little nervous because I need to nothing's been scripted at this level, so I'm still compiling a lot of it in my head as I'm talking, because some things have unfolded and some information has been gathered, and I'm not sure.
Deep breath. Woosah, woosah.
I'm not sure if I want to put it into a video that's live on the internet at the moment, but we will definitely get there. What has been going on with Dex and the networks and our solutions for Dex Trader is that in growing anything, right, Mike? You have to kind of, they always say you have to break some eggs to make some cake and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah,
you got to break the ground there's growing pains, but there's also sometimes, like, I don't know if anybody farms or you make gardens, if you got whatever, right? But sometimes you got to weed, right? You got to take the stuff out that gets in there that you're like, how'd that get in there? And sometimes you got to pull the whole root out and not start completely over, but you just got to sort of, refigure the base. You got to figure what's actually happening and what needs to be done. And I'm not trying to scare anybody. I mean, we're not making Dex Signals go away or Dex Trader go away or anything. But sometimes you need to kind of shake the filter a little bit and be like, we got to get a little bit of use out of this. There is a tremendous amount of talk in this industry, and there's always gossip, there's always bullshit, there's always these, there's a new system in town, all that kind of stuff. But in our case, we kind of filter through that stuff for you. We don't throw just a whole bunch of random stuff at you. In our network of people that we know within this industry, there is a lot of talk of some things that we were originally doing with this, and we're being pursued, I should say. And usually that's a bad thing for us, right? People are usually coming after us to, shut us down or do other things. But in this case, it's a pretty good note. And I'm not even sure if I should say anything just at the moment. But there is a network of traders that have really enjoyed the fact of our transparency, and you have to know that's a very difficult thing to have in this industry, is transparency, right? We know that. And Mike, you've probably seen that from the beginning, right? There's never been a lack of transparency with the company since March of last year. We may have not been able prior to see the forest through the trees, but we know that we had a lot of learning curve in the beginning when we first started. We've been out for 2.5 years now. You know that, right? It's been almost, it's about 2.5 years right now. We've been out.
Yep. And
that's like old age in the world of trading and signals and stuff like that. So the growth that's happened from when you started with us, Mike, to now, what does that look like?
It's exponentially better. Exponentially. Right. I mean, it's ridiculous how when we first started, it was just, it was Max's Signals is what I started with. That's not even that grew to Dex Trader. And it was just more and more and more. And then the more you got freed up, the more stuff you came up with, which was fantastic. I mean, it was great.
Well,
Like night and
once you
day.
get
It really night and day since last August when I started.
right. Well, once you get to a certain level of building, you have to sometimes go, wait a minute, I went a little fast. I got ahead of everybody. I needed to do something different, you know. Oh, this is not going to be fun. I can't do my writing. Darn it.
Oh no.
Yeah, bummer. Whiteboard webinar. Why? Please
Glad
don't do
I didn't order that yet, so I'm happy.
that. No, it's something else going on with my computer. I have a lot of stuff happening on my computer at the same time. You got to realize I do video. We do
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of stuff. Okay, so we're just going to have to you have to deal with my third grade writing with the mouse. All right, so we have grown in such a way that originally I steered towards Nadex when trading when I first started because it was the only one that was regulated, right? It was the only one after coming off of the buff of being beat up and all the scares of like, listen, I seen some crazy stuff when I was trading Forex with FXCM a long time ago, and they had a lot of slippage. They had a lot of very weird, dealing desk kind of situations. And if you're not familiar with Forex, if you're not familiar with that process, there's some crazy stuff that's on the internet about the slippage and scams and Forex scams and things like not overseas binaries, but real trading Forex. And I began to dive into trying to figure it out a long time ago, but then really ran into some major roadblocks. The reason why we stayed with Nadex and kept on delivering signals for them is because, again, they're still the best thing on the block when it comes to trading safely within the margins. And I say safely with I guess a tongue-in-cheek kind of stuff, but there's any time there's an opportunity for somebody to take advantage of you or to play the rules so well or play the game so well that you're gonna lose, and it's that loss that's becoming that a lot of people are talking about. So I'm not going to make any predictions at the moment about Nadex. We're still going to stay with them. We're going to still stay with that, using our signals for their system, that system in there. But we are viciously branching out to Forex, right? Because we have a few things that are in play. Our Dex Effects network, right, is sort of took a little back seat for a little bit while we developed some things. Our Dex beta testing system is in full gear, being programmed for a few other things that we're going to attach. Security is a big one, right? So this is what's been going on. Nadex is we're going to keep that system. We're going to keep the base signals. We're going to keep all that stuff, but we're developing our solution, which is the safest way to trade. And one way that I found in trading Forex at all is that, of course, you always have to have a stop loss, right? You always have to have, you guys will see it out there, it'll say stop loss, right? And what this is that once you get into the trade, if, like you say, you're going to go for a buy, you put a working order in down here to say, hey, look, if it drops to hit this point, I want out because that means it's going to go against me. And this is a stop loss, right? You also have a take profit. The rule of thumb is that your stop loss and your take profit should be the same amount of pips away from each other, right? And we learned to trade this. This is the safest way to trade. Because if it drops all the way down here, you don't want to lose everything you own, right? Because in trading Forex, this could happen. But even though that this is a pretty safe way to trade, there still are some issues with trading. And this is called at current price trading, right? Signal comes out, tells you to trade at this particular price, use this particular price to trade at, go now, do a stop loss of 20 pips up and a take profit of 20 pips down. And we have a system for this, right, called current price trading. And current price trading is very well known. And if you got a good strategy with a process, you can have a very good system. The unfortunate part is that that system has a win-loss ratio, and there's certain nuances around it, and you got to learn how to trade this way, using Forex, using those processes. there is another way to trade Forex, and it's called the buy stop, all right, or the sell stop, what we call stop trading. I know that sounds weird, right? So here's the market, and we were going to give you a signal that says, okay, if the market reaches that line, okay, we're going to say that this is a pretty heavy line, so we're going to say that if it reaches that line, it's already broke some support for us, okay? If it reaches that line, we want you to put in a buy, okay? And that buy, we're going to have you give a take profit here and a stop loss here, okay? If it does that. Let's see if I can do some of this stuff, okay? But that's where the market is now. If it doesn't hit that line and it hits this line, we want you to put in for a sell. And then you'd put a stop loss here and a take profit here. Does that make sense, Mike?
Yep.
Okay. So basically it's like a hedge. If the market does this or if the market does this. So you can put both of these on. Now sometimes it's going to follow through, or it may just hit it and then pop off and hit your stop loss, and you might lose. But the percentage rates are very, very high. And when I say high in Forex, 60, 70, 80% in that area, that's that really high margin. And right now, from our back testing doing this process, we're batting 75%. So I'm very happy with that. But between the percentage rate, we're not so much worried about the percentage rate as I am about this next number. We're looking of anywhere between 30 to 60 pips a day. And this is very important, is that the amount of pips that you're looking at per day, all right, from this process is going to come over a period of about 3-4 trades that are going to happen. So you're going to be doing about 30 to 60 pips in a particular day, and then we just have to do what? CVG, right? And this is consistency plus your volume equals your goal. And getting this particular type of trading is very, very important for us, okay? Because not only can it be used in Forex, you can use it for spreads, but you're going to need to have a heavy momentum of movement for this to work, okay? But we also have our own spreads process. Now, the cool thing about this Forex part coming out is that I will be delivering signals at 8 o'clock every day, between 8 and 8:30 every day. And this will come out in a particular fashion. Now, some of you want to join this stuff, some of you won't, and I can understand. I'm not trying to sell you anything today. I'm not trying to sell you. Or I am. Okay, let's be honest. I am trying to sell you something overall, right? That's the whole concept about our company. But I'm not asking you today to buy into anything. I'm telling you where we're progressing to as a company, because we need to be on a track to be able to profit from the markets, and to do so in such a way that we know that there's going to be losses. We know that there's going to be issues and problems with the strategy, but you're always going to be going like this, heading up within your portfolio, okay? You're not going to have these kind of days, which I'm seeing is happening with a few other systems that we're using. And I'm not liking the big drop. It's almost like something they figure our way of doing it and then it's gone, right? So we have to kind of start to really see what the market really is and how we can trade it and how we can work it. And then I have to teach as many people as possible to do that. Now, depending on how much you like to trade Forex or you don't like to trade Forex and all the demoing and all that stuff, we never said that we were a Nadex aficionado. We don't want to be, we're not drinking the Kool-Aid over at Nadex, but we're also not completely cutting our throat either, because you can make money with it. I've made plenty of money through Nadex. Made plenty of money through that solution. I trade the dailies, and I trade the SR Maxes, and I trade the NA intradays now, which are doing very well. So there's a lot of work to do there. So if you are looking to start to go that, the learning curve for Nadex is low compared to what some of these others could be, where the learning curve meets the hazardness of a system. Nadex is that ratio is pretty comparable. Where Forex is, the learning curve is high. It might be the same as Nadex, the learning systems and things like that, but the hazardness of Forex is big, because with Nadex, if it goes against you, you're only going to be out the 80 or 90 bucks per contract, right? Or the 75 or 65 bucks per contract. Okay. But if you lose on Forex and you don't stop loss yourself, yeah, you could lose a lot of money. It could just keep on going, and leverage out your account. There's all these little things that we warn you about. There's a lot of little tricks to that trade. So what's been happening and what's been going on is that we're starting to get our learning down and more advanced. So we're going to be transferring that information to you. We're also going to broaden our portfolio, okay, by applying some Forex signals with buy, sell, stop solutions. Right? It's supposed to be buy, sell, stop. That should be even like a t-shirt. But once we start doing this, we can start looking how do we apply that daily interim of trade, okay, seeing how that works for us. We can also begin, this is what basically it looks like, and this is what like the email that you'll get if you join the process. We're going to have this in Dex beta testing, as well as maybe some little shopping cart stuff you can buy into and just to help us test out, or you'll be a part of it, or you don't have to provide any information at that point, but you pay a little more. So you can, it's like, I think it's like 57 to be part of Dex beta testing for it, and it's like 87 if you just want the signals and you want to demo them out and do your own thing and figure it all out. But these yielded out this morning in a particular fashion. Now, we'll teach you all about how to do all this stuff inside, but again, this is how simple it is. You come in, you take the buy stop, it hits a certain level, you take that. If it hits this level first, whichever one it hits first, that's what you do, right? And if it comes down and hits that level and then it goes off, but then it comes back up and hits this level, and then it comes back down, you could probably get stopped out on both of them, but so you got to pay attention. There's work to be done, right? This is not just a set and forget kind of solution here, okay? By the end of the day, you're taking them off, by 1600, by 1600, 4 o'clock. Take them off before the end of the day, and you're done. And you've either made your profit, made a little less. Sometimes when you get to here, you may not be a full profit margin. You might be less than, or just a little bit less than. You can let it override and go overnight. Okay, they call overnight, letting that ride. And then once a new signal comes out for the next day, if it doesn't meet it or have met it, you take it off, right? If you have another signal comes over. So it's easy stuff, very, very easy stuff to do. I'm going to get into final thoughts here, but only because it's going to take me about 20 minutes to do the final thoughts for today. All right? Because, and again, I opted out not to tell you every little thing that's been happening, but I want you to know that I will this week once I get it for sure. And I'm looking at data and information and everything that's coming over to us. And again, it's not super bad stuff. It's not super great stuff either. But this industry is riddled with people that want to take advantage. And some people will want to take advantage of you within the confines of the law. So did they break the law? No. Did they bend the morality of dealing with people? Absolutely. There's some people in this industry that have seen that as their business model. And I don't know if it's necessarily my job to tell you all the secrets of everybody and what they do and all the cheats and little things that they do, but I think that it's our obligation to bring to light a few things that have been done in the industry and where I think we need to go. Lastly, within that little statement, I have to kind of be a little bit careful what I say. We need to prepare ourselves, okay? Because trading for me has always been, I know there's always been risk. I've never been naive enough to go, well, I have a perfect system so I can trade and I can throw everything I own at it. No. Even if you get an inside story on something, even if there's, oh, I know it's going to go up today. You got somebody who's really confident, it doesn't matter. You always have to protect yourself, right? So trading for me has always been that knowledge that everybody's out to get me, and I still got to go into it with both eyes open and my fists up, right? You got your right up. You got to protect yourself. You got to guard. So I know that making money for me for trading was always the main reason I was in it. Let's be serious here for a second. Anybody tells you they're not in it for the money, they're full of shit. You as an individual who is here trading, you're here to make money. You're not here just to listen to me talk or be a part of it, just some sort of great community so you can have some social fun. That's not what we're about. We're about making money. And that money will transfer for you to get the things that you need to get, or to give you a little bit more security, or to give you a little bit more direction, to create a business, whatever it might be. But trading for me eventually has to be something that I have to be able to get to, that my hazardness, my risk, my knowledge of it has to be not of, I can never have to worry about the system failing or the company figuring something out and then learning how to hurt me from it by me doing the same thing. I want that consistency. I have to have it. My body craves it. My mind craves it. My business craves it. Because the moment I start trading and I know I have these little pitfalls, these little things come down, but the moment a company figures me out, or figures out my style and uses it against me to do this to me, that's when I go, yeah, you know, this industry's not a very nice one. Okay, so we have to protect ourselves. So that's what this webinar is, sort of a little bit of like a line in the sand. It lets you know that, hey, there's something's going to be happening, and we're going to be bringing this to bear over the next week. Okay, and you'll see some emails from me. You'll probably see an invite to a webinar. That's probably what it'll be. Now, if it turns out to be nothing, then I'll allude to it and let you know what it was. But then I won't make it as a big event, just an email that they apologize for the weirdness of Monday's webinar, but this is what it was, and I'll give you a full explanation at least by Wednesday or Thursday of this week. But don't let this change the way that you're doing too much on your business. Just make sure that you always got your right up and your guard up. Okay. Business is business, and the reason I put this in the final thoughts today is because when it comes down to it, I want to help as many people get to their idea of success. But we run a business here, and the business is something that myself, Amy, Brian, Mike, Paul, Thor, and many other people, Tim W., a lot of other people put their faith and their trust and their hard work and their tears and their sweat and even their blood into this. And if somebody comes here to do us harm, oh, watch out. Be prepared. We are here to defend what we do and work hard with what we have, but also know that even though that I am here to help you get to your idea of success, one thing that you have to know is that the only person that can truly give you your success is you. It's your business to be able to get to that line of success, because the work that you have to do to get there is something only you can do. Any time that anybody's like, well, I have a system that you can do, that you just put the money in and money splits out the other end. Bullshit. I have an EA, an expert advisor that could trade for you. I make it 3,000 pips a year or a day or whatever it would be. Bullshit. If it was that consistent, are you kidding me? Everything has a folly to it. And you have to know that. Everything has a risk. That risk that you have, all those disclaimers, all those things that everybody tells you. I don't believe that we have to tell people don't drink the Windex today. I don't believe that. I don't believe why, with all the knowledge that we have, with all the availability to knowledge that we have, that we actually have to tell people there's a risk to trading. But the risk is not from trading itself. The risk is from using the tools, the people, the exchanges, the brokerage. If it was all pure business, that one process delivered on another, right? You gave these companies money, and they gave you information, and whether or not that led to more money or a loss of money, either way, this company did their job, right? And if they did their job, they deserved their money. If they didn't do their job, then you refund, you do what you got to do, right? But in this world of trading, what happens is that you get all these companies that are all promising you all these things, and you're out trying to get as much money to make all these things happen to find out which one's going to work, right? And this is what happens to us even, right? We try to find out what's the best strategies, what's the best systems out there. Listen, I can do algorithms, but I'm not that person that can just sit down and put all the mathematics on a piece of paper and go, yep, that looks about right. And I have to see the algorithm, make it work, see the pattern, find the solution for it, see what, test it. I mean, I'm doing the work behind it constantly. It's just not come out, write a few numbers on a piece of paper and be like, all right, yeah, that looks like it'll fulfill. I have thousands of books inside the storage locker still of just hash marks. Back when I was hash mark trading. Brian and Amy know what that's about. Then we graduated to spreadsheets, and then spreadsheets graduated to rhythmic trading. So this looks like Japanese up here. All right. So one of the main concepts that we're trying to build is an awareness of the market and what all the tools really are. And listen, there's 1,001 different ways to interpret the market at any one time. But there's only two main ways that the result will be given, right? You can sit and think that, hey, that market's going to go up. Why? Because these 6 things tell me to, and this candlestick is a doji candlestick, and once the doji happens, or a shooting star, or a hammer, once this happens, but only if these 4 other things happen, then it's analysis is paralysis kind of moment, and you're not paying attention, the market just went up. Simple things like structure and value and trend, these are all things that are taken into consideration, but still there's only one of 2 ways it can go, right? It can only go up and it can only go down. Market's never perfectly solid, right? Because you get these little hits in here that moves up, but it never does this, does it? It has a range to it. You have what we call the range market, of course, but the market's always in movement. It's never one flat, perfectly flat line, right? So once you get to an understanding of how all of this starts to play in, you can learn all these things. But what one thing does it really come down to of learning most of this stuff? But what one major thing do you have to do to learn how to trade? And you're going to get this right.
I hope I do. It's just practice and practice and practice. So before, demo, or I mean, you can't take anything new and do it without demoing it or working at it to get better at it so you can be successful at it.
Doing. That's what it is. Mike hit it right on the head, and I knew he would. It's doing it. It's becoming it. It's putting it, everything it is, into your life. But listen, like I said last week, doing it doesn't mean doing it all. Doing it means practice one process to its perfect and then go into the next. Add a little bit more, see if it works for you. If it increased your value to trading, then great. Use the shit out of it. If it didn't, chuck it to the side. But keep your main concept, right? That's what we're doing. We're keeping our main concept of Dex. What is our main concept of Dex? Is that we find solutions to trade. We know that there's 50 types of traders that are out there. We find solutions to trade to kind of fit into those particular type of traders' minds. We have the base signals. We have the SR maxes. We have the NA intradays. We have the Forex trades that are on board, that are trading in different algorithms up and down. We have the base spreads that'll be coming out, the daily spreads that'll be coming out. Okay, and these are pretty awesome as well. But again, the moment I figure something out, somebody changes something along the way, and you get that number happening, right? So, oops, I don't know what I just did. I hit it on the windows. So I want you all to know that since we're still building so many things, there's always these little pockets of oh my God, where'd that go? Right? So if you have any problems, you have any issues, please just pick up the phone, call the company, go into the chat room, go into the support system, write us an email at cs@dextrader.com. Ask the questions, get on the consults, sit down and talk about the processes themselves. Find the solutions. One thing that I've seen over the weekend, as people are sharing a lot of their journals with me, is that everybody has their own way of trading and keeping information and doing that stuff, but they're always looking over the fence, right? They're always looking at somebody else's. Hey, I seen that yours doesn't have this on it, and I see that that person doesn't do this. Should I be doing that? No. You should take all the training that we provide your own interpretation, and do it. This is not like any other network in the world and this is how we train. You have to find how you can trade the process and do it well. Because you can interpret the information different than somebody else does. And because there's so many different ways to interpret the information, the only thing that I can tell you is doing it will yield you your success. Whether it's a positive success or a negative success. I know that sounds weird, right? Negative success. But will it work for you, or will it hurt you? And either way, you will get the information you need to know if this is an industry you need to be in, right? You're making a case to whether or not you're supposed to be in this industry. The best way to do that is to take the macro look at everything. Now, just because we're building something as well as, now I won't say new, or building another process, we'll always be building in other processes because we'll be constantly meeting new people within this industry. And with each new person we meet in this industry, there's another opportunity for us to build another product or something else that will work for them that didn't work for others. Where do we get this information? Well, when people leave, we ask them certain questions, and I talk to certain people that were here, and they say, well, I really wanted this kind of product, or I wasn't able to get it, or I really figured out what I wasn't supposed to do, but I really now need to figure out what I can do. And so we give them an opportunity to give us some feedback. And that feedback is very important to us. And that feedback has told us everybody wants to get into trading. There's some that didn't want, to be working with Nadex. They really did want to work with Forex. So that's why we developed a Forex platform, and that's going to be coming. So we're very excited about that. Next week, on Monday, there's no webinar because it's Memorial Day, the weekend. Yay for us, right? I'm probably going to start my weekend on Friday, so I probably will not be here Friday as well this week. And I'm going to take that week to not build anything. And it's going to be the first I've ever done. So my family is forcing me on a mini vacation from Friday to Monday. So Tuesday I'll be back. We might hold a pro webinar on Tuesday if you want to do that. That's something that we'll put out there if we can get in and make that work. This also starts Mike Ficka's huge weekend of DJing and becoming a 7-day, 6-day, 5-day-a-week DJ for the summer. And so I look forward to coming and seeing you at one of your events.
Nice. Are you breaking out the barbecue this weekend or what?
Oh man, I never put the barbecue away.
Huh?
I barbecue all year long. I'm that kind of guy. I'm that dude. I'm out there not in short, but I'm out there in the winter, dusting the snow off of the barbecue and firing it up. Ribs taste good in January just as well as they do in July. All right. At this time, I want to thank everybody for getting here to this webinar, and I can't thank you enough because it takes a lot to get through some of this. Today was a very unusual webinar, and I understand that, but I have to tell you, I did this for a reason because I wanted to give you. It's like telling you that something's about to come. That's hard to say, but also there are going to be some of you that are going to be like Max did say something about, keep your guard up. So if you see anything fishy on Nadex, if you see anything fishy in the market, the way the market's acting, anything over the next 3 days, especially on Nadex, okay, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, stay very vigilant, okay? Be very careful with your live monies. If you are trading live at the moment, I'm not giving you the warning on Nadex, I'm just telling you that, you're trading live money. Be very, very careful. Follow your procedure, stay with your consistent values, stay with those things. Very important. Okay. All right. I'm going to let you guys go. Mike, thank you very much for hanging out.
Thanks, Max.
I won't be able to do a questions and answers right now because I do have a very short webinar that I was supposed to do. I was supposed to try to make it done in about a half an hour today, but I kind of went over. I want to thank all of you for being in the room today, and stay tuned. There are a lot of things going to be delivered to you over inside your email. I'm sorry, I just got distracted. But I will have a lot of you on a webinar over this next week, and one way or another, we're going to have that webinar so I can be more clarifying without being so conspicuous, if you will, or secretive. I was going to come out. I was going to come out and say it today. I was going to come out and give you the what for and tell you exactly what was going on. But there's legalities with that too. I have to be careful of. So I just have to be careful. All right. I will talk to you all soon. Mike, thanks a lot, and everybody else, take care.
Thanks, Max.